welcome to GlobeSongs. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the song Mama Don't Allow, which is a song from my home country, the USA. I first heard of this song as a child in a book by Thatcher Hurd, which was featured on an episode of Reading Rainbow. It goes, "Mama don't allow no in here," and you fill in there for the of course. "Mama don't allow no in here. Well, we don't care what Mama don't allow, we gonna anyhow. Mama don't allow no around here." So as you can see, Mama don't allow plenty of things, but the singer is not bothered by that and is going to do those things anyhow. Now this is a song that's played in a lot of different styles, including bluegrass, jazz, and country. It was originally played by something called a jug-band, which got its name from a big jug, which was one of the instruments that was played in the band. It was widely available and cheap. So, jug bands have their origin in African American spasm bands in the 1890s. Spasm bands were bands on the streets of New Orleans, largely made up of children who made instruments out of found objects like a gas pipe or a kettle. Jug bands used a combination of standard and improvised instruments like a washboard and spoons, or a washtub bass, or a cigar box fiddle, or even a comb and paper kazoo. The jug bands mixed blues, ragtime, and jazz with a strong backbeat. And Memphis was the home for many great jug bands. The first jug bands recorded were in Louisville, Kentucky, and the first recording of Mama Don't Allow was in 1929 by Charles Cow Cow Davenport under the title "Mama Don't Allow No Easy Riders Here." Other famous recordings of the song, and there are so many different titles, include those by Washboard Sam, Smiley Burnett, Tampa Red, Flat and Scruggs, and Doc Watson. Now, the roots of this type of music run to the days when African Americans were coming northward, fleeing the plantations of the Mississippi Delta. And this music was a child of the soulful, suffering Delta blues, but with a much more upbeat, even comic sound that was great for entertaining crowds. This was America's DIY, or do-it-yourself, music. Another word used for this type of music is skiffle music. But Wikipedia clarifies that while jug band is often used as an umbrella term for ensembles that use homemade instruments, including skiffle bands, spasm bands, and juke bands, really only bands with a jug player are actually jug bands. In any case, jug bands died out when the good times stopped rolling, says writer Bruce Watson in his blog, The Attic. By the mid-1930s, the jug bands had run their course. There was the Depression that had an impact, and also the effect of radio on record sales. As some decades later, the jug band, or skiffle music, enjoyed revivals on two sides of the Atlantic. In the late 1950s, between 30,000 and 50,000 skiffle groups were in Britain. The young people of the UK were rebelling against the culture of their parents, creating their own style without expensive equipment. The most famous of these were John Lennon's Quarrymen, which became the Beatles, and Barry Gibb's Rattlesnakes, which turned into the Bee Gees. In the 1960s, in the United States, there was also a revival of jug bands. In New York, there was the Even Dozen Jug Band, and in Cambridge, Massachusetts, there was Jim Kweskin and the Jug Band. Then, in the 1990s, there was another revival, the Roots Revival in the U.S., which saw a new generation of jug bands and skiffle music form. Nowadays, there are a variety of contests and festivals in the U.S. featuring jug bands, including the National Jug Band Jubilee in Louisville, Kentucky, the Minneapolis Battle of the Jug Bands in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the Chicago Battle of the Jug Bands. Now, there's some variation I found in the melody of Mama Don't Allow. I'm going to sing, let's see, if I should follow the sheet music here. I'll sing two different versions, which are both different from what I sing, by the way. Mama don't allow no picking and singing round here. Mama don't allow no picking and singing round here. We don't care what Mama don't allow, gonna pick and sing anyhow. Mama don't allow no picking and singing round here. So that was one, and here's another. Mama don't allow no picking and singing round here. Mama don't allow no picking and singing round here. We don't care what Mama don't allow, gonna pick and sing anyhow. Mama don't allow no picking and singing round here. And you know what I've realized too is that this song is very, very similar in melody to the gospel song This Train is Bound for Glory, which was also popular in the 1920s and 30s. And that has me wondering if those two songs may have influenced one another. I wasn't able to pinpoint a connection, but I have a hunch that they did. In any case, my daughter and I had fun getting into the DIY jug band spirit and recording a version of Mama Don't Allow for you with instruments that we had on hand. I hope you enjoy our rendition, and don't forget to subscribe to GlobeSongs. Thanks for watching.